Hello guys, welcome to a new video. As the title already says, today I will be sharing with you how much money I made hosting on Airbnb for the past year 2019. And before we go more in depth into how much I earned and so on, let me first briefly describe what Airbnb is. For those of you who don't know, Airbnb is a platform that basically connects owners of properties who want to rent their spaces with other people, let's call them travelers, who are looking for a place to stay. And the way Airbnb makes money is by getting a small commission from each booking done through the platform. And I say small, but we will have to see a bit this later. In any case, this commission is divided in two parts. On the one hand, we have a 3% commission for the owner. This means that if you list your property at 100 euros, so imagine this is what I want to earn per night, you will actually not be getting this 100 euros, but 3% less, which in this case would be 97 euros. On the other hand, the fee that the traveler has to pay, and this information is extracted directly from Airbnb website, is left very open, and it only says that it's of a maximum of 14.2%. What does this really mean? This means that if on the previous example the owner was listing the property at 100 euros, the guests to book each night, they would have to pay, in this case of 14.2%, 114 euros and 20 cents. Nevertheless, I also looked through other websites and I found it to be between 6 and 12% depending on the total amount of the reservation and also the cancellation policy. But what I basically extract from that is that Airbnb charges whatever commission they want to the traveler between a 6% and a 14%, which is actually a lot. Because imagine that you book an apartment for you and your friends for, let's say, a total of 7 nights, and let's also assume that this apartment or house was listed at 150 euros per night. The total amount of that booking would be of 1,050 euros. But this is not what us as travelers would be paying. On the top of that, we would have to add this extra commission. Assuming that it's a 6%, so in the best case scenario, we would be paying an extra 63 euros for our stay, making the total cost of the reservation 1,113 euros. But on the other hand, a 14% commission adds up to 147 euros extra, making the total cost of the reservation 1,197 euros. Quite substantial, isn't it? Airbnb is almost making you pay one extra night in commissions in at least this example. And this is not even everything Airbnb gets, because to this you need to add 31.5 euros, which is what they take from the owner that is renting the property. Summarizing, in the worst possible scenario for Airbnb, they are taking a 9% commission out of the total transaction. And on the best one, they are taking a 17% commission. If we compare this with the next bigger player in Europe, which in this case it would be Booking.com, and now stop for a minute, don't criticize it yet. I know that it's not maybe exactly the same target market, they are more focused on hotels and so on, but the way the platform works is the same. So basically for each transaction taken place within the platform, they get a commission. And this commission, in the case of Booking, is on average a 15%. But again, this is just the average commission taken by the platform. Then, depending on the type of property and location, the commission can range from 10 to 25%. So we are seeing that actually Airbnb is not that much cheaper than other platforms in terms of the commission they take. Anyways, I'm going to stop it here because I'm already getting excited and I think that you already understood the business model of Airbnb and how it operates. Therefore, if you want to make money using Airbnb, there are 3 possible options. First option, you are Brian Chesky, who is one of the founders and the current CEO of the company, which is obviously not the case. Second option is that you are a shareholder, which is also not the case. And the third option is that you own a property that you want to list on the platform, which is the case. And it's basically what I've been doing since September 2016. More concretely, I have been doing so with an apartment we have in Barcelona. It's actually an inherited one, so it's where my grandparents used to live, and it just passed along the generations. I went there on September 2016 to study at the university because my hometown was farther north from Barcelona. More concretely, I moved in with 2 of my best friends. The apartment had 4 rooms, so we decided to rent one of the rooms on Airbnb to get some extra income. From that time, things have changed a little bit, but the business of renting a room on Airbnb has kept on running. In fact, it is a bit of a family business, because although I have been the one probably involved the most, my mother, my sister and my girlfriend have also been helping. What we were doing was renting one individual room throughout the whole year, and then in summer we were renting 2 rooms since some of my roommates were going to their hometowns. That said, let's look at how much I made in 2019. I know that you have been waiting the whole video for this moment, but before I uncover the amount, it would really help the channel if you could just please hit the like button, which is underneath the screen. Now that you have already hit it, in 2019 I made a total of 7,920 euros. And this is the total amount we made gross after Airbnb took out the commission that they take. And this amount was again made by renting one tiny single room in Barcelona of 8 square meters. And not in the city center. I mean, we have the apartment in a pretty nice location, but definitely not in the city center. And okay, to that we also need to add that during 3 months in summer, I was also renting another small room of around 10 square meters. Nevertheless, from the 7,920 euros that we made gross, after declaring it to the tax authorities, we were taxed, at least my mother, who is the legal owner of the apartment, in about 30%. This basically left us with a net profit for the activity of 5,544 euros. It is pretty good, but it really hurts to have to pay so much money in taxes. Because it's not so much for the effort, since to have this room rented, it didn't mean that much extra effort for us. In the end, all it takes is to publish some nice pictures, set a price for your listing, that if you're a bit lazy and you don't want to modify it day by day, you can just set a set price for the listing all year round. You then need to reply to bookings, arrange for a time to meet the guests at your apartment, give them the keys, and then basically just keep the apartment clean, which is something you should already be doing, and just clean the room after the guest leaves. That's it. Now I would like to go a bit more in depth into analyzing the main key features in terms of performance, and to simplify it as well for you, let's now just focus on how much I made with one room. In that case, I made a total of 6,336 euros gross on that year. In terms of occupancy, considering that on average I earn 22 euros net, and I'm calling it net, deducting already the commission that Airbnb takes, it means that we basically sold the room 288 nights throughout 2019. Considering that a year has 365 days, this means that we managed to reach an occupancy of 78.9%. Personally, I think that this is a very good number, and if we compare it with the results from Apartur for that same year, Apartur is the Association of Vacation Rental Management Companies renting touristic apartments in Barcelona. For that same year, they managed to make an 81.73% in terms of occupancy. They did better than me, but we also need to consider that they are professionals only devoted to this, and that while renting the room, I was also studying and working. Nevertheless, we could also argue that occupancy is not the only indicator that we should be using, and that's absolutely true. We should also be seeing if I rented my room at a decent price. Maybe I was just renting it too cheap and that's why I had so much occupancy, but overall I did try to put it to the maximum. So usually Airbnb gives you a recommendation on the price you should put per night, and I was also aiming a bit higher than that. But anyway, that's also something super hard to compare, because the data is not there, and especially it is not there for rooms, and also there are many different rooms in many different locations, and there are so many factors influencing to that it would be very difficult to analyze. Anyways, I'm super happy with the result. And the question here now is, how have I accomplished this? And no, I'm not gonna share it with you today. I will keep the secrets to have a successful Airbnb listing for another video. Thank you very much, and see you next time.